Welcome to the Sci-Fi Center, the place to be, where comic books and wrestling collide magically. Movies, TV shows, and pop culture we share. Get ready to rock, we're here to take you there. From superheroes to aliens in outer space, we've got the latest news and reviews in our embrace. Turn on your screen, let the neon lights glow. We'll take you back to the 80s. Let's rock and roll. Sci-Fi Center, where the legends come alive. Get ready to geek out, let your imagination fly. We're diving into the past with a touch of modern flair. Sci-Fi Center, the ultimate pop culture lair.
Ooh, I feel like shit. Ugh, had to work through this today. Last couple of days, had allergy, drainage issues. Did everything I could to prevent it from getting to the upper chest. It got there. So, as soon as it did, I hit it with the meds. And right now, I took some more stuff that's probably going to put me out here in about an hour or so. About an hour and a half or so, I'll start to feel a little bit drowsy. But yeah, we were supposed to do the Happy Gilmore 2 stream today, but not only was I busy, I didn't have my headsets at the store, and I was feeling like shit. So I'm just basically going to move that to Monday night. I still have the portal open. If you don't know, we still have room for one more movie. Since I didn't get it done today, I was going to keep that portal open until Happy Gilmore is over. I have it pinned to the top of the chat is the link if you want to donate and add one more movie to that. We'll go ahead and do it since I had to postpone things. So there you go. Let's see. Hello, Ozzy. How are you doing? What is HD2? What do you... Oh, when is Happy Gilmore 2? Yeah, Monday. Sorry about that. Hello, Daniel Martin. So basically, listeners, as you guys are, I'm not highly functional right now because, like I said, I've been taking stuff all day to try to, because it's Friday. So Friday and Saturdays are my big, long days at the store. Usually you see me stream from there. So I had to curtail a lot of that, get as much done as I can. But the breathing issues were a problem. So breathing without coughing, the congestion. So I've been fighting that because if I don't fight it immediately, it gets bad. It gets to the point where it becomes debilitating, and the last thing I can afford to be right now is debilitated. I need to be on my toes. I need to be as active as possible. So here we are. So I didn't have a topic for tonight other than I just called it the allergy stream because that's what it is. I may Mondays. Monday is the soonest I will do it, but I will probably do it so that I can do it earlier in the day because Monday I don't get back from my other stuff until later on in the evening. So I might just go ahead and we'll just go ahead and do it that way. William, I saw there's a new Black Label title with Batman, Green Arrow in the question. All the Black Label stuff with Batman on it, regardless of who else he's with, Catwoman or anything else, does well. So I'm going to predict that this one's going to do well as well. Yeah, it took something a little bit strong in the Benadryl today because, like I said, I cannot afford to have this traveling through my chest. How did I sound on Max? Oh, I didn't know you were on Max. I know I tuned in for a little bit while I was working, and he was talking to AI. Him and one dude were talking to an AI girl, so that was like kind of weird. But I must have jumped off before you jumped on, Larry. So there's a PayPal button for all you guys. Okay, so I jumped off right before you guys jumped on because I was listening to them talk to her about it. Talk to her, and then I started closing up Sword. I guess it's gonna be Predator Badlands for me. I don't think there's anything left. Predator Badlands, and I saw the first 15 minutes of that. That looks amazing. So it's gonna be Predator Badlands. So by the way, guys, we will be doing Alien Earth watch parties for those of you who are interested in that. So we'll be watching. We'll be doing the whole season one. I don't know what time because I don't know what time Hulu is going to release it. But if they do it at midnight, which is what Hulu or Disney does, we'll watch it. We'll do a live watch party of it. Like I said, I've already seen episode 1 at Comic-Con. So. Yeah, and like I said, I was listening to the first half of it when Max was talking. Max was talking to the AI. I was like, wow. And it was kind of weird because she was actually giving really decent answers. Yeah, I saw it. It was funny. It was like, hey, babe. Yeah, every time it would answer a question, it would say, babe. It was very suggestive. You just had Indian food? What did you have? Curry? I keep forgetting about Avatar: Fire and Water as the biggest. Well, that's going to be the biggest movie of the year. It's the question is for Avatar, and I'm taking a hard pass on that. Is not whether it'll cross a billion, it's whether it'll make 2 billion, which is what the other two have done. So that's like the big. That's going to easily be the biggest movie of the year. Okay, let me open it up to make sure. Hey, there we go. That's all. Sorry if I seem a little bit out of it, guys. Like I said, I'm just like I'll feel better as I sat down. I've been on my feet all day long. All right, I haven't gotten it yet, Larry. I'll keep refreshing. Yeah, I've been. I literally had customers today. Friday and Saturday, as you guys know, are my biggest days of the week because of tourism. And every now and then, when there's like a convention in town, the middle of the week picks up. But Fridays and Saturdays are generally the getaway days for a lot of those guys. A lot of the locals that I do get, that I do get, if they are going to come to me, they generally come to me on the weekend. Oh, let's see. I think I just heard the thing. Thank you. I'm going to assume, I'm not even going to look. I'm just going to assume that that's Larry. There you go, Larry. Larry, what do you want to see, dude? Oh, Cable Guy. Cable Guy. Not only thank you for that. So you want to see Cable Guy? All right. So Cable Guy is actually, be honest with you, out of all his crazy comedies, Cable Guy is one of the one acceptable because I don't know if it's just me. He's got issues, relatable issues in that movie. Um, like loneliness and all kinds of stuff. I mean, I know it's like slapstick, but when he's slowing down with Matthew Broderick, it's like, ooh, wait a minute, what am I watching here? So next Friday and Saturday are going to be. I guess I could do it. Would you guys rather we do a Friday double feature of we have Happy Gilmore 2 and Cable Guy? How does that sound? Hold on for a second. I'll be right back. had to sneeze. And as I've been sneezing today, man, I sneezed today and I almost put a hole in my wall because I was hanging a comic book up and an uncontrollable sneeze came out of nowhere and I hit my head on the sheetrock and I thought I had busted it. I'm like, whoa. So, and then I was sneezing so hard yesterday. And that's why when I was on the stream the other day, I kept going off camera because every time I sneeze, I needed to make sure that I wasn't bleeding on fucking camera. But so yeah, let's do so Friday and Saturday. I know little movie perp, strange little lizard. He did a whole stream. Apparently, he's trying to find a movie that when I see this movie, it's going to be worse than Howard the Duck. I already told him that. I mean, we watched Dumb and Dumber, and that's the worst movie in the world. But but as far as like big budget expectations, Howard the Duck is the worst big budget movie I've ever seen. And as a comic book collector and as a fan of Howard the Duck and the Nexus to Reality, the Man Thing, all these characters that he was associated with, you don't know how disappointed I was when I dragged the old man to see that. And like I said, I wasn't trusted with picking the movie for like 4 or 5 years afterwards. So so Little Movie Perps got one too. So we may just make a weekend of it. Let's see. So let me know if that's just how does Friday sound, guys, for both of them. I should be if I'm still dealing with this allergy attack by Friday, I'm probably dead. And that's no joke. Because I think that this afternoon was the worst of it. This afternoon I just could not breathe. I went to the clinic and got some of the stuff that could knock me on my ass because all I was going to be doing is in the store. If I fall in the store, it's no big deal. But yeah, so, I mean, pregnancy. I mean, there's just all kinds of stuff that they gave me. But yeah, today it was really. I'm not an asthmatic, I know that for sure. But right here, it felt like I had a vice at the top of my lungs, and it drove me crazy. Took the COVID test just to make sure, but I knew it wasn't COVID, and I came up negative. Whenever I'm sneezing like this, I know it's not COVID, but I took it anyway just to make sure. What's going on, Fourth? Me and you need to have a talk next time you're down here, and maybe we'll be on a ladder where I push you off and finish you for good. But this obsession with my pants has got to stop, dude. This is creepy. But if you need to know, yes, I'm wearing pants. Why I'm having to answer another man, that I don't know, but and I know you're straight. So what's going on? I thought the draft. Well, you know what? I was surprised at that too. But how much does Jurassic World make? Shit. Sorry about the coughing, guys. But like I said, I think I see light at the end of the tunnel here, and I did aptly name this the benefit stream. Not benefit stream, allergy stream. And I think there's a trend here with just people that are not going. It's at 741 worldwide. We may have to, when outside of James Cameron and the next Spider-Man movie might be the next $1 billion one. And Jurassic World, I mean, 700, that's nothing to frown at. $740 million is nothing to frown at. But you also got to realize that global market, they just don't like us right now. They just don't like us. And now I think Jurassic Park skipped the China market. So a lot of the Jurassic Park is domestic in Europe, but even still, it's not just China's market that's adverse to us right now. It's all of the market. Hold on for a second. Hold on, I'll be right back. I'll finish that thought. Yeah, because right now, to be honest, with Superman's at 5'10". I'm thinking Fantastic Four is going to probably end up right around there as well. And given today's market, given everything we're going through financially with inflation, with um, a lot of uncertainty, even if people haven't, even if some of these things that are going on in the world haven't directly affected you yet, you're preparing for them to. And it's hard to spend your money when you're concerned about where the next dollar is coming from. And that might just be a trend that we're going to have to do. As a retailer, I'm learning it as well. I talk to customers today that usually their ticket is a lot higher, but their hours are getting cut. Like Vegas, we're definitely getting hit by the lack of foreign tourism. A lot of people are saying it's hotel fees and people getting greedy. You know what? What I've learned about tourists, especially foreign tourists, which is a good chunk of our business here in Vegas, is that's baked in. They save up for these things. A charge like that is minuscule to what they've decided they're going to spend overall. They come in here once, twice a year. They've baked that in. So, could I be wrong? Could it be the fees? But when I'm talking to my customers, because we email Mike, I email them ever since we got our hockey team out here, the Las Vegas, the Golden Knights. We've had a lot of Canadians come out here because they plan their trip. And if Vancouver is playing the Golden Knights, they plan their trip around that. If Calgary is playing the Golden Knights, got a huge contingent for Calgary. Edmonton, fuck Edmonton and the Oilers, but Edmonton. We even get them from Montreal. And then whenever you have a sports team in general, you have a lot of people from other states. I mean, when the Raiders are playing, whoever they're playing, a lot of people will plan their trips around that. So when I'm talking to some of my Canadians, and then, lots of Germans come in there, they don't want to deal with the hassle right now. They don't want to deal with the visa issues. They don't want to deal with TSA. They don't want to deal with what Homeland Security is doing. And it's not necessarily a political thing. It's the fact that they see the stuff on the news. They see how the government's behaving and how they're doing things, and they just don't want to be bothered with it. They can just go to another place. They can, in a lot of these places, a lot of these countries now have some type of gambling where they can go there now, or they can, but they just don't want to deal with the hassle. They know they could most likely get through and not have, most likely not have an issue, but you want to spend all this money to come to Vegas from Canada, just to get hassled? I know people that have been hassled coming in, having had visa issues. They're wanting to check social media and things like that. People just don't want to deal with that. And when you make things just slightly harder than they're supposed to be, people start choosing other options. So I know in Vegas we're affected by the current political climate. But like I said, all the way around, traveling is a luxury. And when you're dealing with a global trade chaos like we're doing now, a lot of those people are affected by that. So when you throw uncertainty to where the money is coming from, it makes it harder to not hold on to that money. And I think we're seeing that in these movies, because some of these movies back before all this were easily $700-800 million movies. Now, another thing is the streaming window. I bought that up. And then I got people like, they're like, well, why don't they keep it in the theater for 90 days? It's never going to happen again. That is never going to happen again. And that's another thing that affects the box office. Right now, the more Jurassic Park movies you release into the atmosphere, the longer we've been into the streaming trend. And when they do a next one, we're going to be even further into the streaming trend. And those 90-day windows are not coming back. They're not coming back. Superman is going to be, I know James Gunn said otherwise, but that's the decision from the distributor, which is Warner Brothers. If the rumors are true, and that's in streaming on August 15th. Shit, it just got released on July 11th. But the studio, the distributor, and the people who put up the money, it is in their best interest to get that movie into home base as soon as possible. It serves them no financial interest to keep that movie in the theaters any longer than they have to. And I know a lot of cinephiles and fanboys are like, I can't believe this. They're destroying the theater. Listen, they're bargaining with the theaters. They're putting the movies in the theaters long enough to make that front end money, and then they're getting them out of there. So the theaters are benefiting from the initial impact, but like I said, most of these PVOD platforms are owned by the studios, are partially owned by the studios, and then they all have their streaming services. Or in the case of Sony, they're going to sell it to somebody, so they got to get those movies out of there as soon as possible. So yeah, I think all those factors, Daniel, are a part of the issue. Thai food is great. Thai food is great. You just got to be careful, Drogo, on your spice level, what your spice level is. Because if you go, I did the Thai place here, I always eat that, and I'm a pussy. I can't go above 3. If I can't taste the food, I can't enjoy it. So, yeah. The movie where the main weird character has real issues with observer report. I've heard of that movie. Who's in that movie for? Oh, fuck. Cable Guy was really ahead of his time. Yeah, like I said, when you look at the trailers and you look at the video that he did, with the Jefferson Airplane song, you just dismiss it as more of a silliness, and it is a silly movie. I mean, it is a silly movie, but like I said, the core issues that the dude has, that's yet another thing that lets you know Jim Carrey, I think, is a better actor than what he's shown. I think I really hope somebody offers him a role that he just can't resist, and he just takes it, and it's one of those ground shaking roles. Because even in the Cable Guy, he's relatable as a non-buffoon. So, all right, 1004th. No, I can barely deal with the one we have, and I tried to get rid of him, but he wasn't high enough up on the ladder. Sorry. Yeah, I probably will do it on because if I do it on Monday, it's not at a decent hour. If I do it on Friday, I can do it anytime during the day. So some of you East Coasters, and I know Larry, you're an East Coaster, and Aaron, you're on the other side of the world. You and Droga. So yeah. Yes, please like and subscribe. I'm trying to have a happy weekend, but like I said, man, today really, and I couldn't stop what I was doing. I had so much to get done, and I had regulars coming in to pick up stuff. I had brand new people wandering through, getting some stuff, having to have my normal conversations that I love having with my geeks and be hacking and hacking and hacking. It sucked today, but I had to do it, had to get through. Well, what time do you get off, Worth? I mean, what shift do you work? Yeah, I don't want to. I'm not ready to go yet. I mean, I'm not. I have some things I need to do, like to get done. But yeah, I'm ready, and I definitely don't want to die by allergy. Shit, but today I felt like I said, that it felt like that vice grip was getting me, and like right here, and you could hear it, and when I was breathing, you couldn't hear fluid in my lungs or anything like that, but you could hear it, and that's what people were like, hey, maybe it's COVID. I'm like, nah, because I'm sneezing like a motherfucker, boy. And like I said, I went and tested. When I went to the clinic, they tested me, tested negative. I got the blood pressure check today. Whenever you go there, they do all that. It's a little bit higher than they want it to be, but there's shit I can do. Whenever they've tested my blood, it's exactly where it is, but they say there's things I can do to bring it down, and I do. Like I said, I'm relaxing a lot more. Hi, it's my favorite con co-pilot. How are you feeling, Rhea? How's the post con how's the post con week going for you? And have you how do you feel about Comic Con now that we are 4 or 5 days away from it? Well, he's straight, wife and kids. I mean, well, hey, listen, whatever he wants to be, you know, he has the freedom to be that. But it's, his obsession with my pants can't be part of this. Hello, Rhea. I didn't. It wasn't unexpected for me, Sonov. They weren't gonna let him go out as a heel. They weren't gonna let him go out as a heel. I didn't know at what point it would happen. This is where The Rock and Travis whatever could have helped out with that. But I love the promo tonight. The promo tonight he cut was really good. They salvaged a really bad situation because nobody was buying him as a heel. They were just cheering him no matter what. So I think Cody could go heel. Who knows? But I didn't think it was unexpected. I just didn't know when it was going to happen. But there was no way that they were going to let John Cena end his career as a heel. Even when they first did it, I knew they weren't going to do it. See, this is creepy, dude. This is creepy. Oh my god. Yeah, I'm kind of pissed that they didn't promote. It's a Warner Brothers movie, and I didn't get it here. The one of the movies I really wanted to see. I don't think it's my most anticipated because I'm still skeptical of that director. I have to see a movie where he lands the plane for me to be okay. Because Barbarian did not. Barbarian's last 15 minutes sucked, and it scarred the movie for me. So I'm hoping that this movie looks awesome. It looks like it has that same element of mystery in it. I just hope he sticks the landing this time. Oof. Yeah, I might see Weapons on Thursday night or Thursday afternoon. What about fourth tourist? I don't consider you a tourist. I consider you a target. Like I said, I'm waiting for you to come into town because I need some stuff hung up. I'll hold the ladder. I think stuff like the Spirit will help artist residencies too. They really need a theme park, circus. Nah, yeah. And remember, we used to have a water theme park too. They got rid of that, and then just put the fairgrounds on there. I think what's going on with Vegas is one, you're transitioning. It used to be the casinos, and that was it, and it was a one dimensional thing, and everything was driven by the casinos. But as more people move here, you have to diversify. You have to diversify the money because here's the thing: my parents were the ones who would come here and just blow wads of money. Now with USC football, there's the next generation. The Generation Xers and the millennials, now that they're coming here, they're not coming here for the casino. They're coming here because UFC is here, because wrestling is here, because hockey is here, because we have football is here. I mean, electric EDC. EDC is it's a major 100,000 people go to that thing, right? Has nothing to do with gambling. So what's happening is they're having to transition this city into something that is a little bit more multifaceted. I mean, when I first got here, we had no sports team, and we weren't going to get any sports team because of the whole gambling stigma. Now we're about to get a baseball team, and they'll probably expand the NBA out here. So there's more out here, but the infrastructure is not set up for it. But as far as the entertainment dollar go, it's even that still has a lot of people coming from overseas. We get a lot of people from overseas that come to Vegas. We get a lot of people from China that travel to Vegas. A lot of people from Japan, Korea that come to Vegas. But when you're dealing with, like I said, a lot of the global financial issues, if you're a country that's currently, if you're living in a country and you're having to pay more for anything from America, you probably don't have a glowing feeling about us right now, and we're probably not going to pry that dollar from your pocket as easy as we would if these things weren't going down. But yeah, you're right. We do need more. William, I'm sorry to get political. Do you think the reason why us in the foreign markets haven't gone to see this movie? Yeah, no, that's not. Listen, there are certain things that are political, but there are certain things that are math. Even if they are political, it's math. If you're in an environment that's being hit by 15 to 25% tariffs, and you are living in that society, and you are getting stuff from us, if you're in the soy market, if you're getting, because a lot of China imports a lot of soy from us. There's a lot of things that get input, and then vice versa. Okay, so even if you are not being, even if an item is not something you're not buying, right, is not, not being tariffed. So the tariff, you don't think the tariff is affecting you, both you're affecting the supply chain. The automotive industry, if you put tariffs on Mexico, dude, a lot of cars go back and forth between the border just to get assembled. A car might go back and forth between the border 6 times to final assembly. So you're affecting the supply chain, and whenever you affect the supply chain, you're affecting the jobs. So if there's tariffs going on between us and China, that's affecting a factory worker that might be going to the movies. And they're more adverse to putting our movies on the open market. And in some cases, the movies are considered a product or commodity. They add tariffs onto those. So if I have a movie or something that is add an extra 25% added to it versus a local Chinese movie that does not, finances might dictate that. So no, it's not a political. No, you're not getting political. You're getting, this is math. And right now the climate, even beyond tariffs, when it comes to the United States, it's not the free flowing. It's not the free flowing relationship that we've benefited from before all this went down. And whenever that happens, this is what happens. Like I said, not having movies in the China market. Now that was dwindling to begin with because China wants to have some of their own movies in there. But if you have a trade war going on, then they're not gonna budge their market. And there's a lot of movies, a lot of these franchise movies 5-6 years ago that made a good half of their money from China. Aquaman, Mission Impossible. I mean, a lot of these movies, even if they're now getting China releases, they're not doing well over there as well as they should be doing. So no, it's not a political question, unfortunately. Ooh. Dark Knight. Oh, might have to time you out, son. Chomp, chomp, my ass. Yeah, listen. Canada's huge. Canada's huge for us. Listen to the lumber. I believe 83% of our lumber comes from Canada. We don't get as much from like Portland and Washington State and some of these other places because obviously those states can't outproduce an entire country that is like 90% trees. So when you put a tariff on Canada and you interrupt the supply chain, it causes problems. And Canada is a lot of people come from up north to spend money in the American economy. A lot of those cities that are along the border are so close. Canadians come down there to do commerce. Canadians, I got like tons of Canadians that come to even before we had the hockey team. But now we have a hockey team. You could look on the schedule and see when Calgary was playing Vegas Golden Knights, and I would know I was going to get some Canucks from Calgary. And sure enough, coming in with their jerseys because they know I'm a Kings fan. Then if Edmonton was playing them, I knew some Edmonton Oilers. We have a long-going rivalry with them. They'd come in and full Edmonton Oilers gear just to antagonize me. But they brought their money with them, so yeah. Canada can keep track. What's getting to Vegas and staying there is cheap. The food and entertainment there is in Japan. Yeah, living here, to be honest with you, as a local, is I don't see it as that expensive at all. It's the tourists, and a lot of people say, well, the resort fees, the resort, and I'm looking at the resort fees, and I'm like, we've had these resort fees for a while, and these people are still coming. If it's like when I went to San Diego, there's certain things that I would never pay for here in Las Vegas. There's just things I just would not do. But when I'm at Comic-Con, I built in what I need to do there. So it's not a sticker shock. I know those fees. So when I get there, it's not going to be like, oh, I'm having an awful time type of situation. That's the same thing as a tourist that comes to Vegas. These people come with way more money than that. But once again, if they're coming from the border, if they're being hassled, we got a lot of people who legally that are Mexican nationals that come up to spend money in Vegas. There's like a special trip you can go, boom, bam, bam, it gets you right there. And, we're not getting a lot of that now because of the visa process, and they're getting hassled. So it sucks, but yeah, it's where we're at. All right. Let's see. I have not seen Eddington. They need the shared reality theater too. What's that? I'm lost. I'm old. What is shared reality theater, Larry? Are you guys talking about the spear or? I that's a long imagination. I now listen. I think Avatar might have issues making its usual like what it's done before. There's a good chance it doesn't come anywhere close to 2 billion. 500 million. I don't know, man. I don't know. I think James Cameron and the draw of that movie is in that movie. People have loved both of those movies. They still you could release the first Avatar, and you're still gonna make millions on it. I'm not a fan. I saw the first one. I got over the phenomenon, and I'm like, I didn't see the last one. No plans to see this one, but I know there's a ton shit of people out there that are waiting to see it. If it did 500 million, that we're in trouble. We're in trouble. Making 2.0 is already out. Yeah, and for making 2.0 movies like that, and be honest with you, no one's ever going to convince me that Superman is not in that case too, and Jurassic World, and these movies have their PVOD dates before they even hit the theater, because it's a golden parachute. When you're putting this much money up, a lot of the people who put that money up want to be like, well, how are we going to make our money back? As quickly as we, and then, the distributor's like, well, yeah, we're going to keep it in the theater. But then in about 35 days or so, we're going to pull that in closer to us in one of our PVOD things. So now that 35% that we're giving up, we're going to give up like almost nothing. And then, a lot of those people who are stockholders in the company themselves are part of the streaming service. So guess what happens when you put Superman on the streaming service? That's a retention tool. These things, so you can make your case there. But yeah, I think that most of these movies, some of them may play it by ear, but I think and they'll never admit it, but I think the majority of movies made before they even got into the green light process, that back end revenue is already set in that day, and it's beneficial for the studio to do it sooner because they're getting the fire. They're striking while the iron's hot. Superman on August 15th is still going to be a hot movie. But for them, it's like, do we want it hot in the theaters where we're showing it on less screens, or do we want it hot on PVOD where we're getting the majority of the money and we got as many screens as the customer has? It comes down to that. I'll be right back. Okay. Whew. Hello, Clinton. How you doing? Lilo Stitch. It's another one. See, Lilo and Stitch. This is why I think some of it is going to have to depend on the movie and if you can take a family to it. I guess Jurassic Park. From what I didn't see it, but it's not like family adverse, but it's not as sellable to a family as Lilo. And Lilo and Stitch has been a brand. That first movie came out in 2002, and Lilo and Stitch has been a strong brand since then. And we're talking 22 years, 23 years later. They marketed that movie at the Super Bowl. They marketed that movie. I mean, that little blue thing was eating up the field. I mean, Lilo and Stitch was a strong brand, and they've done nothing to weaken that brand since it came out. And a live action version of that. There you go. Jurassic World. There's some. I've seen some of the deaths in Jurassic World. That's a little bit intense. I don't think there's a. You guys tell me about Lilo and Stitch. Was there anything intense that you could take a family of four easily to? Maybe that's the thing. Some of it might have to do with, like I said, a built-in brand too. Like if you do something and you take care of the brand and nothing bad has happened to the brand, or there hasn't been a bad movie. See, some people didn't like some of the last Jurassic Park movies too. I mean, I'm not part of that crowd, but there's been no live action Lilo and Stitch movie to say, oh, that last one was awful. The only thing that they have for Lilo and Stitch was something that's been beloved. So I don't know, Ray. That's a study. I mean, I'm pretty sure somebody is doing the analytics on that right now. See, what do you go? I can go up to a 3, maybe a 5, but once I can't taste the food, I'm like, what's the point? Once I'm on, like, my tongue is on fire and my taste buds are on fire, I'm like, I can't taste the food. But I'm a 3. Hal Jordan rewatched Fantastic Four 2015. Similar to Superman, lots of characters and nothing happening. Wow. Don't go against George. Who went where? George likes spicy chicken. All right, I'm missing the joke. Sorry. Yeah, didn't Ben Stiller direct? Did he direct Tropic Thunder? Because, like I said, Tropic Thunder was the last comedy I paid to see, and I almost hurt myself with that movie laughing. So, like I said, Mystery Men, just complete and utter garbage. Sorry for you guys who seem to love that movie, but I hated that movie. I'd like to see him in a horror film. I would like to see him in a biopic. I would like to see him do a role where he's playing a cerebral type character. Something that brings out more than just the Ace Ventura type stuff. The body comedy stuff. I mean, this, he didn't do any of that in Eternal Sunshine. He didn't do any of that stuff, and that's his best performance in my opinion. Dark Knight, because of my Puerto Rican upbringing, I need my food to be overly seasoned to taste the food, or it has to have extra spicy, or I don't want it. When I get Indian food, I get mad. So I've been all over the world and eaten some of the food. Man, wow, some of the stuff, some of their threes, when you get like curry from actually in the Middle East, that shit will fucking make my eyes shoot out of my head. But like I said, certain foods I can eat spicy, but when it gets like I said, to the point where all of my taste buds are being assaulted to the point where they can no longer double duty and taste the food, they're just fighting to stay alive, then yeah, I got an issue. My favorite food is the one in front of me, yeah. Oh, you get off, so you're working like a semi graveyard swing type of shit. Hello, Paul. What's going on? Fucking mechanical cough. Yeah, mine too. I've cut down on a lot of I cut down on a lot of the sodium too because it did affect my blood pressure. But there are salts and stuff that I can get. Like I go to Whole Foods or I go to the section of the supermarket that gives you this salt that doesn't have the salt in it, but it still has spice to it, and I can use that. It doesn't taste the same, but it at least adds some type of flavor to the food. Because I had to cut down on salt. Well, I did that when I was deployed too. Yeah, black folks, we got it. We got it in us. We got to worry about that anyway. So inherently, so. Well, then stop creeping after my pants. Damn it. I think the problem with Fantastic Four was that it had Fantastic Four across it. Just a regular science fiction movie, it would have been all right, but it wasn't a Fantastic Four movie. That's the problem. Creepy. Comic Con was mad. I may go next year for all H again. Everything else was a bust. Yeah, like I said, first time in all my Comic Con years that I stood in the middle of the exhibit hall on a Saturday, saying I was done. There was nothing else to see here. I couldn't get into the things I wanted to get into. I felt like an outsider. I fought my way into this big convention I had been looking forward to all year, and I felt like an outsider at every turn. I either needed to be in some kind of lottery, I needed to have a wristband that was unattainable, or when I did get to the places where I was supposed to be, when I was supposed to be there, the line got capped off. So yeah, that really doused my flame. And I was thinking, hey, do I want to do this again next year? There's a lot of work to get to Comic Con. Well, you guys saw the undertaking you saw just to get us to there. I hope you guys didn't get the sense of that while I was there, because I tried not to let it. I tried not to let it bleed through on the streams. I was trying to put on a happy face and and then and show you guys as much as possible. Tried to get you guys to interact. And that's what those live streams on the exhibit hall were for you guys. So I hope I did you proud there. So yeah, it was a waste because it was unbelievable. And then like you went once The Rock was involved and then he wasn't, that kind of took away a lot of the structure that it was supposed to have. I don't understand that. That was just a waste of a whole heel turn, to be honest with you. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do, if I go next year, which is probably gonna happen. I'm gonna coordinate it. I'm gonna make this fucking thing fun. I'm not gonna let the fun come to me. I'm gonna aggressively make that fucking thing fun. It was good up to the last 12 to 15 minutes. The last 12 to 15 minutes of Barbarian, like I said, guys, you probably watched movies with me when we do these watch alongs. I absolutely hate being disappointed in the closing of a movie. The ending is part of the movie, and if you fuck that up, you fucked up the whole movie. Us, I would have loved Us. Us was an all timer for me until the last 10, 15 minutes of Us. Nope. I had issues with throughout, but nope. But the last from the midway through, oh nope, I was like nope myself. So yeah, I have a lot of issues. If you can't stick the landing of the movie, it really, it's like when a gymnast can't stick the landing, it hurts the grade. So weapons does Naked Gun. I have no plans on seeing Naked Gun ever. So. Yeah, but the problem with the mob is they would have never lasted because as too many corporations would have just outbid them, and they were stealing. That's the problem when Vegas was a small town. You could get away with the stealing, but when you're taking money from people and skimming, yeah, that's going to become a problem. Even if you are a fearsome mob, um, that's what happened. It's just like, and their ways, with the law enforcement scrutiny, it just wasn't going to work. There was a time and place for the mob, but as the city got bigger, the mob would not have been able to stop the growth of Las Vegas. And as the city grew, it was going to be harder for that act. We got the Las Vegas Lights. I think we have the Las Vegas Lights as far as soccer teams goes. Yes. I don't know. Don't ask me what league they're in because I don't know too much about soccer. Yeah, the Mob Museum is good. The Punk Rock Museum is good. Mob Museum is really. They actually have real mob stuff down there. It's kind of cool. Let's see. Hello, Bell Rev. How are you doing? You wish you could live in Vegas? It's hot out here. I'm over Vegas. I mean, it's a good place to live, but I'm a California guy. Eventually, I'm going to make my way back to Southern California. That's where that's home for me. But this will do for now. How you doing, Steven? What's going on? Yep. Like, subscribe, hit the alert button, donate if you want to see a goofy movie. Is that what they're doing at the Cosm? Is that what that? Because I know we got Cosm in L.A. Is that what you're doing? Because at Cosm you can go and watch, you can connect with other cities because it's like the Sphere out here, but it's interactive. It's kind of neat. William, what are your thoughts on this Hall of Fame voter for the MLB Hall of Fame preventing Suzuki from getting in unanimously? I don't know. I do these. I'm I'm not a big fan of the Hall of Fame, the Baseball Writers Association of America, because of the whole Pete Rose situation. I can't take the Hall of Fame seriously. I don't regard it as anything. I know it's important to the players, but Ichiro Suzuki should have been unanimous. And I know a lot of people are like, they don't like to do the unanimous because like guys like Babe Ruth or whatever and Mickey Mantle, those guys weren't unanimous, so why should anybody be in? I'm like, well, they should have been unanimous too. So I don't know how. I mean, who voted against him? I don't know, but yeah. When it comes to Hall of Fame voting, I just kind of like going to the next subject because it makes me aggravated because I think it's a lot of times a no vote has a lot more to do with something that had nothing to do with what's on the field than anything else. If they didn't like you, they wouldn't vote for you. If you didn't have a good relationship with the media, you might not get a yes vote your first time around when you should. Pete Rose, I don't care what he did. 4,000 hits is 4,000 hits. He needs to be in the Hall of Fame. They won't put him in, even if he were eligible. The whole Hall of Fame thing is a bad taste in my mouth. Yeah. Listen, $1 billion worth of people, if not more, are going to go see it. You got to have fun with that. I have no desire to see that movie. Reason why China hasn't really bothered to watch American movies this year is because they got a lot of their own get movies coming out this year. They do, but even when they had their movies like that, they still went to see ours. When we had a good relationship, they've always had local movies, but a lot of them still want to see the big Marvel movies. They still want to see the big DC movies. They still want to see the big action movies. And when our relationship was good, they were going to see those even with their movies. But now what's happening is as the relationship has frozen over, they're filling the void with they're taking this opportunity to get their market share back, and they're going to close it off to us. But if the relationship was still good, that we had that leverage to be like, all right, you're going to play our movies, and we're going to continue our relationship. And now with the relationship in shambles, it's a lot tougher, even with their movies there. I don't. Sorry. Nah, Brad has to get up early and to do some kung fu shit. So. Well, I mean, most of the remakes have done well. I mean, most of them have done. Most of the cartoon remakes. I'm not big into them at all, but I wasn't big into the original, like Lion King. All those have done well. So. Nah, I can take deli mustard. It's when you start adding peppers and cayenne and all that kind of stuff into it. William, I'm excited to hear what you think of Eddington. I have not seen it. It's extremely disturbing because the setting is real, even though it's a fictional story. Isn't that's a Pedro, another Pedro Pascal movie, right? Jim Carrey was legit being scary as a Joker, but there are too many Jokers. A.K. William Defoe should be next in line to play Joker. Nah, I mean, there's just certain things that, you know, I want to be able to taste the food. I can take it. It's just that it's no longer enjoyable as a meal if I can't taste the food. It's like, okay, so yeah, so Ben Stiller has a good record with me when it comes to comedy. So there you go. I listen, guys. This Sydney Sweeney thing, I don't understand it. It's a Gene commercial. I remember growing up in school and seeing Brooke Shields do like the same commercial. I mean, I maybe I'm aloof, but I'm not. I consider myself left leaning, and I'm not seeing the issue. So I'm not gonna like create an issue for me where I don't see one. If somebody has to explain the issue to me, then it's probably not gonna be an issue to me. Concord, it could be, but it seems like I don't know. Can you catch allergies? Because that's what it's been to me all day. And I'm fighting it like it's an allergy attack. But yeah, it could be Concord aptly timed. I mean, every year. I don't always get it. Captain Trips, no, I would be dead. Captain Trips is fatal. Okay. I'm so bummed. I did get to Comic Con at the height of DC and Marvel Studios killing all age. Yeah, that's what made it so hard to get in now. I'm going to beat people till they have fun. Well, once I finished it, yeah, it was overhyped to me too. Like I said, I was along for the ride until the ride took a turn for the worse. Oh, see, is that true? I know they were all touchy feely, but I didn't know what the marital status was with either one of those people. But that's nice. William, return editing. You can tell it's a liberal take on everything from the both sides. All right, and yes, the side is annoying, but yeah, like I said, I've heard very little about it, but like all I know is Pedro Pascal's in it. He's in everything. Hey man, date till you drop. You still have needs even at 70. Okay, so yeah, it's like Cosm. All right, cool, gotcha. Yeah, he is. Yeah, yeah. Triple H and the relationship with Trump and the whole. Yeah, it's given what they're getting past through and Vic with Vince and his issues. Yeah. No, yeah, I heard about that. I heard about that. That miniseries from ABC in the '90s, 1995 was really good. It's really disturbing. Gary Sinise. It's gonna be an interesting card. We're gonna be streaming tomorrow night, but it's gonna be later. It won't be our full on stream, but I will be covering SummerSlam tomorrow night. It's probably gonna be happening later. Depending on how I feel. I'm starting to feel better, but if I go to sleep and wake up feeling like shit, then we may have some issues. But right now, I'm going to probably stream around 11:30 at night, and part of tonight's stream this Saturday overnight will be SummerSlam. Card looks interesting, especially now he Cena, Seth Rollins being out, the whole Money in the Bank situation being thrown up. So I have been ignoring. As soon as you lose me at Dean Kane, once you bring up Dean Kane's name, I pretty much my senses shut down. What do you think about the thoughts of the whole Dean Kane situation on Twitter? him attacking Superman. Is he just saw what he saw? Once again, I stopped listening to Dean Cain years ago. Dean Cain, I knew he was talking about. All right, guys. I think that's about as far as I should go. I think that's about as far as I should go. I don't think I should push this anymore. You got an hour of allergy filled me, so I am going to go ahead and wrap this up. Please like, subscribe. Thank you for all your contributions, Larry. Thank you. We will get your movie going when we do Happy Gilmore 2. So we're doing Happy Gilmore 2 and Cable Guy more than likely next Friday so that everybody can be there. And it's not so late. Oh shit, what are you still doing up? Aren't you on East Coast time? Nobody too. We're promoting that. That I don't know because like I said, we've been getting less and less movies in here because they've downgraded Vegas as a major market. We're not a major market anymore. So I was surprised to get Superman and Fantastic Four. So right now, the very next movie we have is Nobody 2. And I think there's another one she sent me that I got to look, but nothing massive. You're going to Rocky Horror say, yeah, I'm getting our show together. I got a new cast leader, and that person's organizing everything up for me. So I know my cast leader is at the RKO convention, the 50th anniversary, the Rocky Horror Convention. So as soon as he gets back, we're going to get going. We'll have our show pretty soon here. No, they don't. We used to get movies on the weeklies. Now we get them every now and then. At least from certain studios, especially Warner Brothers. I may. It feels like my usual allergy suffering that I'm, in. But the fact that I am a week removed from convention, maybe. Usually when I get that, I get it at the convention. Like last year when I got it like that, I got it. That's when I woke up Sunday for day 4. I was feeling like shit. When I went to bed that night, I was feeling a little bit like shit. And I woke up feeling completely like shit. So usually when I get something from Comic-Con, it's that I'm starting to feel it towards the end of Comic-Con. This is something I started feeling late Thursday night. And usually COVID is something like that incubates, but it wasn't COVID. So I don't know what I got. I know it feels like my usual allergy suffering. So who knows? Why do you think that is? They're downgrading. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I really don't know. They don't have an answer for me every time I ask because I'm like, the city's growing and now we're getting less screenings. So I'd have to make that case to them. All right, guys, please like, subscribe, share, hit the alert button. And if I feel okay, I will see you at about 11:30 tonight. We'll go over SummerSlam and some other stuff. And we'll have a Sunday night stream as well. But like I said, it won't be the big stream that we usually have because I got some scheduling issues. Plus, I don't feel that great. So we'll just do a regular Midnight Express type of show, but we'll have some topics for Saturday. And then we will have our 10:30 Sunday night show. And then next week we'll be back on schedule, hopefully health-wise and schedule-wise. So have a good morning, and I will see you later on.